Hello, I'm Samuel from Team 7477, Super 7, and today I'll be going over the 2024 to 2025 Into the Deep season of FTC. So this year we have an underwater theme, and here's the field. This is what the field looks like. We have these two sections for each of the drive teams, and each drive team has two drivers, one human player, and one coach. The main thing being manipulated this season are these samples. There's these blue, red, and yellow samples, as well as clips. Each of these samples are 1.5 by 1.5 by 3.5 inches, and there's 20 blue samples, 20 red samples, and 40 yellow samples, as well as 40 clips. Now here we start off with 3 blue samples here, 3 yellow here, 3 red here, and 3 yellow here. All of the rest of the samples get dispersed here. Now we can manipulate these samples. Let's say you're on the red team. If your robot gets in contact with a yellow or a red sample, they can score that in one of these two baskets, either the high or low baskets. If your robot can score in the low basket, you get 4 points, and if your robot can score in the high basket, you get 8 points. And if your robot can push one of those samples into this area, it gets 2 points. Now, this big box, by the way, is called a submersible, and you might see that there's these bars over here. Now, let's continue with saying you're on the red team. If your team brings back one of the red samples, it can't be yellow, it has to be red. If it brings back one of those red samples to this area, the human player can apply a clip onto it, turning it into a specimen. Now, the robot can use that specimen and clip it onto one of these chambers. If the robot clips it on the lower chamber, it scores 6 points, and if it clips it on the higher, it scores 10. Now, during the autonomous period, points are doubled. So, if you score 4 samples, that gets you a total score of 32 at first, and then double that gets you 64. If your robot also parks in the human player area, that gets 3 extra points during autonomous. During teleop, your robot can reach into this submersible to score more points. Now, in endgame, there's these ascent zones. There's level 1, 2, and 3 ascent. Level 1 ascent is just your robot parking in these areas. That gets you 3 points. If your robot hangs above here and in this layer while hanging onto this bar, that gets 15 points as a level 2 ascent. And if your robot climbs onto this bar and then climbs onto this bar and hangs between this area, that's a level 3 ascent, and that scores you 30 points. So 3, 15, and 30. That's it for this video. Catch you on the next one.